sees me, hears me? Is there actually anyone? Let's see. Let's check the source. Okay. The quality seems not good. Let me see if I can change it actually. Stream. Output. Huh, this is interesting. Okay. So bitrate is good. All is gonna be fine. So let's see how it goes. Let me check. Sound works. So let's start with some development. Let's open up the CLine and let's switch OBS into different mode a little bit. A moment. Okay, do you hear me now in this mode? Right? Okay, so it was a problem with the audio source. I have a couple of and because of that there was some misconfiguration that I have to clear up. So now I hope everyone hears me. So what I basically did before is I was trying to add a new configuration format for binlog raw image, because there is two ways how you can store binlogs. Like you can have full raw image where it basically stores the whole table row before and after you do an update, or you can have minimal mode where basically it only stores columns that are updated and the primary key by which you can find the data. So what I want to do, I want to test that the functionality works with actually both of them. So I created two files, one that set up a regular binlog, and then the situation where it basically adds this option to make it minimal, because by default it's records full format. So that one should be clear. Okay, so let's go back here, and now I see there's actually a bunch of stuff over there. That's interesting why it's outputting this data. Okay, so it's outputting the event type. Let's output some more data that is available. Let's see. Let's say we only care about something specific. So let's say read data, read event. Let's read an event data and let's output it and see what's going on there. So it should time out quite quick. Okay, so we now see some data with rows being updated. Okay, works well. Bunch of binary data being printed. Okay, I need to put my phone a little bit away. So let's continue with the test case. So what we are doing here, we are asking for the next event, we're asking for timeout, but this one I'm mostly using for testing. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna actually change this stuff a little bit, because this one I was just using to test out what's available, kind of as a proof of concept. So I'm gonna remove a bunch of stuff here, and I'm gonna create a new stuff. So I'm gonna read changes from MySQL, but I'm also gonna create some functionalities here. So I did think about something, but I don't think that I would actually use this code at all. So I'm just gonna remove a bunch of stuff. Error, I might still keep it because it's a good idea to have something like that. So would I have any use? Okay, so replication error and position I removed already. So let's try to build. Does it build? No, because it expects something to do what? Oh yeah, to return. Okay. Let's see. Does it compile now? Okay. It compiles. So what I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna start with an object that's gonna actually it's a struct that's gonna do an action over MySQL binary log events and report them to something. So let's create one. Let's name it replication client, right? Or replication reader, right? So it's gonna read our binary log. Let's attach it to the mod file, so it's part of the project. Okay, all works fine. Now we're gonna create a struct. Inside of the struct, what we're gonna have? We're gonna have, first of all, the name of the struct is gonna be a replication reader. Not very I would say not very unique, but also quite simple to use. So what we can do here, we can specify a field, let's say timeout. It's going to be a duration. So why do we want to have a timeout? Because we want to make sure that MySQL, if MySQL doesn't send us binlog events for X amount of time, then we're just gonna disconnect. So we're gonna have timeout specified in order not to read for a long time. Also, it would allow us to test because we can set timeout to low. So it basically would skip a lot of stuff. Then what we wanna specify as well here for replication reader, I think timeout is fine. Then also we want to specify database. So this is gonna be an interesting one because I don't actually remember what's available in that library. So let's see. Okay, we will test it actually later. I just don't remember a type of the database itself. Let's see. What do we have? It is an option to connection or something. So we are gonna go deep into binlog itself, binlog stream. Okay, good. This is our stream itself. Streams and returns bunch of events. Okay, and inside of the event we should receive an information about format description event. Okay, header. Okay, let's see. I think what I'm looking for is table event. Let's see if I can find a table map event. Okay, here it is. So I'm looking for a table map event. It has table ID and then it has database name, and this is raw bytes. But okay, can raw bytes somehow be compared to string? Yeah, it's quite a long one. So into copy and write. Okay, that's clear. Can we like specify raw bytes as something different for U bytes, U32 bytes, null bytes? Let's search str. Okay, let's see for U bytes. It could be possible to compare it, but better Google for the help. So let's see. Can we do something with Rust? Async MySQL or MySQL async compare raw bytes to string. Okay, it doesn't tell anything about that. Okay, let's find it out later when we actually have to compare it, but let's put for now then a different property here. So what we're gonna specify it as, let's actually specify it as copy and write, and what is the option again in the binlog event? It was in binlog stream, then we went to the event, then inside of the event we found a table table map event. Okay, table map event, it has table name, right, and it has the database name. Let's see how actually it returns it. So it's actually returns copy and write string, right? So this should be fine. Let's go here and basically specify it like that. I don't know, how can you actually specify? Probably I just have to specify it here. Let me see. When do it does it? With the binlog stream, again, go back to the event and then search for table. Here we have table map event. Here we have some methods, table database name as str. Okay, so it returns it like that, but how does it store 0 bytes? Okay, so it's basically takes the same lifetime as this structure, So basically I can do the same. I just got a little bit, so like, is there anything more complicated? Okay. So let's just set it like this. So we're gonna read only events from this database. So this is kind of like a filter, all right? And probably it should be an option, because by default it shouldn't be there. Or we can actually specify it. Yeah, we can specify it for a constructor. Okay. So we're not gonna have a default builder for it. So let's create an implementation for replication reader for no trait gonna be implemented. So implement replication reader, and here we're gonna create a new function to create it, and replication reader is gonna read from database, right? So database into, so it should be implementation of into copy and write. Okay. How do I do it that it knows? Okay, so I need to probably specify it like this. So the lifetime is specified in the argument, and then database into, then we specify duration, timeout, sorry, and it's going to be duration itself. Okay, that should work, and it will return us self with timeline of A. So we kind of indicate that our self timeline lifetime is the same as this database argument. So we specify database database into and duration, also timeout. So okay, this part is done, and I actually also wanna make the struct pub, so I can actually use it outside to test, right? So I also want to make sure that I can export it here, pub use reader, application reader, right? So I'm exporting it now, and when I export it now here, I also need to export this mode. So this is going to be a public mode. Hey Sergey, sorry to see you leave. Have fun. Okay, let's see. So we create a new replication reader, then return it back. Now we can actually add it to the test. So let's actually rename a test, right? So we already know what is the name of our struct that we are using. So it's going to be a application reader test, right? So we create some connection and so on. And here in a reader, we're gonna fix also this compilation error. So we basically need to specify it maybe like this. Maybe then it will work. not test name data reader. Okay, this is fine because I basically can specify it here. Okay, white tells me it cannot run. Okay, let's remove this configuration, delete, okay, and start. Okay, there seems like a bug in CLion. Very nice for running some tests. So let's try it again. Let's run it. Come on. You can't be serious. Why it specifies it like that? I don't understand. Okay. Let's just delete it. And let's try a small trick with restarting CLion, because sometimes it can be in pain about. So let's see, will it work now? Let's open replication reader. Okay. So it now detects a Tokyo test. Let's run it. Hooray! It complains about something different now. Light of argument is not allowed. Blah blah blah. Okay. Again, lifetime's giving me trouble in Rust. So let's say it's gonna be something like that. Will it work now? Okay, now it compiles. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create let reader equal to replication reader new with a database name. Let's call it testdb. We're actually gonna create it, and the timeout is gonna be, let's say, from macros of 100 microseconds. So we're gonna stop observing everything after that amount of time. Let's run a test to see if it compiles. Okay, it compiles well. So seems like an idea of turning it into copy and write str. Oh, the font size is not good. Okay. Hello, Alexei. Slava Ukraini. Okay, now just a moment. Let's see. I can actually increase it, I think, here. Oh, wait a second. I can actually do a small trick. I learned recently with a new version. You can change an appearance with the zoom. So like you can do something like that. 150. Does it look better? So we'll make this window smaller, and now it looks much more interesting. Okay, let's run a test. Everything works fine. Now I'm gonna create here a method called something like read events, and I'm gonna pass here a connection, right? So I'm gonna do create connection let with create connection, await, so we are wait till it's get created. Then we're gonna pass a connection over there itself, and we're gonna pass it owned, and we're gonna pass a reader to the reader an actual collector of events. So we're gonna create a new struct. All right, so we're gonna create a new Rust file. We'll call it actually I prefer to define traits itself in a mod rs, so I'll call it replication observer. All right, so it should be quite convenient. Okay, so all the functions already are public on traits, so I just specify that trait itself is public. And what gonna be a function itself? Is it gonna be an async trait or not? Let me think. I think it's not gonna be an async trait because it's gonna do some sync work, like just updating internal data structure. We're gonna do async operations, not on trait after that. So function, let's say update row. Let's call it update row, yeah. Then we're gonna have a function called, yeah, it's also should be a mute self. So it's gonna update internal state with what's going to happen there. Then we're gonna do write row, and we're gonna say there's gonna be a delete row, and just in case we're gonna create update partial row because there's a special case that exists that it sends a separate event for that. And now I have this trait. I can basically use it inside of my test to create some kind of a listener, right? So this should be it. Now let's see, what do I wanna do? I wanna create also something different. Okay, so I have read events. All right, so I have it as a connection under here. Do I want to specify it as a connection, or maybe I want to specify it as a bin log stream? So probably it shouldn't be a part of this one to specify it as a bin log stream. So I think I'm just gonna pass as an argument here a registered bin log stream, so I can have this kind of method, and then I can create a bin log request. So the reader doesn't care what kind of thing over there is used. We're gonna specify server ID, all right? So bin log request with server ID. Oh, it requires already self, so I need to do new server ID. Let's say 32, doesn't matter what's the number. Then I can specify a file name and a position, but that one we actually need to find out by running a special query. So we're gonna check current bin log position, and we're gonna execute this connection query first, or just query. Okay, query first. Let's see, it's gonna be the query itself, right? So we also need to say it's mutable connection. suitable connection is taking this query first. What it does next? It does next. I think it's show master status. Let me actually double check it. So let's connect to it and show master status. Yeah, so this is actually returns us an information that we need. And then we can actually use it in our bin log request. So we're gonna await on it, and we're gonna actually print it out to see what's the structure of the response object. I think it's gonna be something like we can actually double unwrap it because it's gonna return us the first result always, because we configured MySQL with the binary logging in mind. Right, so let's see. We have this one running. We're unwrapping result. Then we create this stuff. Okay, so this stuff we can comment for now because none of this message exists yet. So we just want to see what's going on there. So the type doesn't match. Okay, nice. I need to map it to a type. Can I do something with it? Let's see. From row. So I can basically create a tuple or something. Okay. So a tuple should be a string or copy and write string, right? So let's see. Can we specify something like that? Static str. Then what do we have? We have also a position, and position is U64. Is it something like that? Let's check the bin log request. The bin log request itself is U64. Okay. And this is actually the type that we need. Okay, so we basically can take it as a parameter. And we can specify static here. Okay. And we don't care about the rest of the things. Let's see if it's gonna work. So what it tells me, from the trait, okay. Can we do something like that? No, two. Okay, so it tells that from row is not satisfied for copy and write of U6. And what is the bound actually? Let's see. The bound is probably it complains about copy and write. So let me try just str as I planned before. Will it run? Okay, it's again an error, but Okay, probably I have to do crazy thing and just go with a string. However, I don't like strings. Okay, so it works with a string, but it doesn't work with other stuff. Okay, so it's gonna be couldn't convert raw file bytes, position into a string. So let's see, where did it use string? Okay, so string is not there. So quite interesting. Hey, Alexei, nice suggestion about the music. I don't know what kind of music I can add there. I still like didn't do streams in a long time. Some of them originally were with the music, but I need to find some good music that is not copyright affected. Also, I think I need them to split differently the audio track for VODs and for video itself. So it's a nice suggestion. I will find out for later one. It was like exprompt to stream after 2 years of not streaming, so should be interesting for a future one. Let's see. Do we have some idea how to convert actually this bytes to position with bytes? Okay, so this is all basically bytes, but it cannot transform. Oh, it cannot transform a row with multiple parameters. Okay, because I probably just have to specify that there's actually 4 of them. Expected. Okay, this is quite interesting. Cannot infer type again. Let's see. Can I just have 2 of them or not really? Okay, what kind of data actually is there? Let's see. We have what complaints? Okay, here it tells it couldn't convert a row file bytes. Okay, let's just return back a row and work with it later. Okay, let's see. Oh, I see what I did here. I by mistake pasted something here that actually broke the stuff that I'm working on. Okay, now it actually works. So probably it could work with the previous version as well. Okay, let's see. A string and u64 and ignore all the other parameters. Okay, here it couldn't infer type. Okay, so we have to deal with a row, and then in a row, right, we can work with the object itself. Let's see what it'll put it as. It's file and position. So ideally I should be able to access it current parent log from column right value. So let's see, columns, do I need that? Not really. I just need to get a value. Can I take a value from a row? Let's look into the row definition itself. So there are some values. let's see where values are used. Okay, so I just can get a value as a reference. Okay, this should be fine. As ref, let's say 0, unwrap, and I should receive a file name, right? So let's see, does the file name works? Yeah, so the file name works. And no. Let's see, does it work like that? Okay, it doesn't have a string, but it has as SQL. So as SQL doesn't work for me. But for instance, if I say I want to have binlog file name equal to current binlog position at reference 0, and then I want to unwrap it, right? And I want to convert it into the type of the binlog file name, and the type is going to be a string, right? And here I'm gonna do let binlog position. Yeah, let's keep it just like this with string current as ref 1. So this is the first column, and then we're gonna specify it into US64. Okay, now we have something working, but not possible to convert a value into a string. Okay. Interesting. But the following types implemented. Yeah, let's look again into documentation. Let's see. So we have a bunch of stuff here. Account names, and this one actually works pretty well. However, why it doesn't let me do it differently? Okay, so let's just, for the sake of simplicity, let's try just to create an anonymous struct here. Right, so we're gonna create a struct called oh no, I also would need to create a from row for it, right? Let's see, does a person here creates it? No, not really. Okay. It just maps here. Oh, I see. I see. So there is some kind of a type map happening like that. So what I can do is binlog file position, and I can ignore the rest, right? Let's see if it's gonna work like this. I already forgot how did it work before. Okay, so the build fails, and it cannot infer type of something. Okay, so let's see if we just remove this once. Oh yeah, because binlog file is a string, right? So we need to specify here string, and position is U64. Okay. How do I do it better? Let's see. Can I just do better operations there without trying to map it? Can I just receive back a result? So I have from row. Okay, so from row is creating for us an object, right? So what does from row implements for which types, which we can reuse? So from value, what does from value support? From value supports not all types, it seems so. From value for bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's not that good list of supported types, so I thought like there should be some kind of easy readable list of possible values. Okay, so value int u int bytes, and do we have something with the value itself? Like, can I just transform a value itself? Let's get it. So there is time null int u int, but do we have just the methods on the value? Interesting. Let's see. So value mode. Okay, so there's the conversion, and then there's also third integration, but not much else. Okay, so here is some list of values itself. So what it supports: MySQL bytes parsed as UTF-8, vector U, duration, and number of U and integer types. Okay, but does it have an example how to properly parse them? Okay, let's still do it with a row. Okay, and here let's see if it still compiles. Okay, row, we're just gonna print it. Okay, it still compiles, it's good. So we have file, position, and a bunch of other stuff that is not important for us. So let's do row as reference 0 into binlog file. It's gonna be a string, let something like this. So let's see if it's working correctly or not. Okay, I forgot a semicolon. That's interesting. Okay, get okay, it tells me that the value is not found, so let's do unwrap. Let's see, does it work? Okay, now it works. Hooray! It works. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna then create new replication request, and this replication request is gonna do start the replication stream from MySQL database. So replication request, let's see, sorry, it's binlog request new. We just specify some ID like 42. Then we're gonna say it's with file name of this one, right? And with position row get 1 unwrap. Let's see if it's gonna work. Okay, it complains about that one, but let's just put the binlog request. Okay, it tells us that cannot infer type of type parameter t. Okay, so it still needs to have some intermediate values. Okay, let binlog file equal from string, right? And then have position specified here. Okay, so this one should be then used here and here as well, but binlog position should be U64 actually. Let's see, does it work? Okay, so with the file name requires something different. From string is not specified for this one. Okay, can we convert file name? What's the file name expects it to be? Okay, so it doesn't have an implementation for copy and write for slice of bytes, so probably I have to do it as str and then into. Let's see if it's gonna work. Oh no, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Okay, so let's try copy and write from, and then specify binlog file, and then let's try to create something like into or something. As slice. No, not working. This is pity. Okay. What's the usage examples there actually? So it receives create operation like this. Okay, so it takes stuff as a vector of u8. Okay, so I just need to do it like this, vector of u8s, and then it just should work, right? No. Okay, it tells that cannot satisfy. Why it cannot satisfy it? Okay. What it suggests me to do? Okay, so it tells me that there is a type bound, but what if I want to, for instance, make a lifetime static, right? So if we want to set it static, then it should basically work. Right? Okay, so that actually helped. So into didn't work, but copy and write from an actual vector did work with it. Okay. And now we're gonna create a connection. Yeah, we're gonna create let binlog stream equal to connection get binlog stream, and then we pass this binlog replication, so this replication request, and then we await and we unwrap. So this should be it. Or actually, why do I unwrap if I already have here question mark compatible error report? So we can just do await with question mark. Okay, now it tells me something. Value moved. Oh yeah, because I'm trying to access a replication request. So okay, it works. The only thing that we will have now is, because I didn't close connection, you can see that there is a binlog stream, so I need to kill manually those connections because I didn't close them properly. Kill 12, kill number 3, 2. Okay, so now we don't have anything like this, and this thing actually we can wrap and move into function. So let's refactor it and extract function. We will name it, let's see, we'll name it create binary log stream. Okay, good. this one basically is gonna return us a result of binlog. Yeah, what's the result type? As binlog stream. Binlog stream. Here it is, and the error is gonna be MySQL error. Correct. Okay. Now we're gonna have something like this. Let stream be equal this one, and we're gonna put a question mark there, so it's automatically checks for a return type and makes it binlog stream. So let's also, after we are done, we're gonna close it, and we're gonna await on a closure of the binlog stream. Let's see, is it working? Let's see, is it... Oh, there is still a process going on. Oh no, why does it not close? Kill 13, probably because I didn't... Oh, I did it again. So, because I didn't finish reading it, right? So it waits till it timeouts on my SQL side. So, okay, we have stream close. And here we're gonna invoke our reader, and we're gonna read binlog events. So we're gonna pass a stream as an argument, and the most important thing is that the stream probably should be mutable for it, right? Because as far as I remember, stream has something like next, right? Right, so you can get a next event. Wait, right? So it sends you a next event. So you need to have mutable reference being passed. So you need to pass mutable stream into this method. Then you also need to pass a mutable reference to our reader. So we're gonna create a struct called events observer, right? We will decide later what it's gonna do. We're gonna implement replication observer trait for events observer, right? So we will implement some stuff like this. So let's move this one actually a bit up here, because we'll probably reuse it for multiple tests. And then we're gonna pass this event observer itself into reader. So we're gonna create it. Let mute replication observer. Oh, yeah, forgot to specify the name. Observer, and then it's gonna equal to replication observer itself. Okay, does it work? Yeah, it works. And we're gonna pass it as a parameter. So we're gonna pass a stream and an observer, and it should mutate observer as long as it reads all of those events. And we're gonna match on something. Let's see. So if something bad happens, right? So it should probably close the stream itself. Okay, so it should be actually part of read bin log events to close the stream afterwards or not. Let's see. Does it? Oh, it actually consumes a stream. So because it doesn't own a stream, it cannot consume it. So probably we're gonna give it an ownership of the binlog stream itself, because if some error happens, yeah, we want to close it. And if disconnect happens, right, if the connection drops for binary log stream, then the next time we're gonna invoke this method, it's basically gonna, yeah, it's gonna recreate a connection in whatever components we're gonna use later. So it should be much more cleaner, so we don't scatter the logic around the binary log stream outside of the reader itself. Okay, so let's see. Help struct with a similar name exists, replication reader. Okay, oh, it should be events observer. Oh, nice. So events observer, let's see. The method doesn't exist here because I didn't create it yet. So let's create a method to read bin log events, right? And I think we can move it into the main implementation here. And here we're gonna say it's bin log stream and observer, but not mutable events observer, but mutable impl of replication observer, right? So we're gonna accept a trait as an argument on which we're gonna do a bunch of stuff. Okay, so what it tells now, operator can only be applied to values that implement try. Okay. And it doesn't implement try because we basically return void here. So let's change it up a little bit. Let's actually return result, and it's either should be okay or it should be or what should it be? So it should be okay result or MySQL error, right? Error from MySQL sync crate, because we are either finished reading or we encountered some IO error itself. So does it run? Let's see. Okay, so it runs. It just tells that, yeah, a bunch of stuff is not implemented yet. Now, what we need to do, we need to match on binlog stream. Yeah, like I remember it was like a loop, and then in a loop we were taking the binlog stream next, right? And we are waiting on it. Also, we were taking a timeout of the self timeout value, right? Of self timeout, and we were wrapping it into the binlog stream. Next was wrapped into it, right? Okay, the value parameter is not mutable, so we need just to specify it here. So it's gonna be mutable, and then we are awaiting on it. So next event equals this one, and then match of the next event if it's okay sum and then again okay, then it's gonna be an event, right? Then yeah, we know we're gonna do something with that. If it's error, we're just gonna break a loop, right? And here we're gonna return, what we're gonna return? We're gonna return binlog. Yeah, so first we're gonna do binlog stream close await, right? So when we break a loop of reading all the events, we're gonna close a stream itself and await on it. It's actually gonna be our last statement. Okay, so otherwise, if it's actually okay but none, right, we also break. So we probably can combine it two together, right, because they're basically the same. So we can just specify it like this. So either it's okay or none. If it's okay none or errors, then we break a loop and we just close the binary log stream and return early. Then we have okay, then sum, and then error. And in this case, error is gonna be returned back, but before we return back an error, we are doing binlog stream close await with a question mark in case if we cannot close a stream. So then we also return that error, and then we're gonna return back an error itself, right? So error. So then we return the underlying MySQL errors that happened. Let's see, does it work? Okay, our test passes, so it means it's basically invoked everything. Let's see, so that one didn't close, so that's interesting. So we read the binlog event. Let's actually kill this one. So it should be kill 17, right? And then let's run it again. It still keeps connection open, so this is not good. It means that the closing is not happening. Okay, let's do a small check here. Yeah, let's just print closing stream. Okay, let's see, does it output it? Okay, so the stream is getting closed. If the stream is getting close, why still connection is open? This is interesting. So this is actually not right. Why it's not working like that? So we have a binlog stream. Let's see how actually the tests are done. So he reads a bunch of stream data. So it reads a bunch of events. Oh, okay, I see. So I can probably use this flag. So binlog dump non-block. Why it says it's not available? It's actually available. Okay, let's see. Let's see if it actually helps us. Binlog stream. Because the idea, if we, for instance, didn't receive any binlogs, right? So we would just wanna close the stream. Let's see. Create binary log stream with flags, and binlog dump flags is gonna be what? Binlog dump non-block. Let's see if it's actually gonna help us. So we need to kill this process. Okay, so it creates binary stream, it works, and let's see if it's kills the process. Okay, so now finally the stream is not open anymore, it's not lingering while we are reading the events, right? So okay, let's then just remove this one. So here we are closing the event. We also do some timeout operation right on the event itself. And here probably too I need to specify the same timeout on the closing event. Let's see, timeout on the closing event. No, I think I don't need to, because this one is just takes the connection, closes the connection. Yeah, we don't care that much about that one, because that one is not a big problem. But interesting, actually, can I reuse the connections then? Or it just closes the connection and makes it unusable? Probably, yeah, because after I start dumping events, it's just gonna close any possible other queries to be executed. So okay, here now we are gonna just process an event function, process binlog event, right? And here we're gonna pass an event itself, right? So event, right? And then we're gonna pass a stream itself, right? So let's see, because I think I need to get an access to the event data itself, right? So if I wanna read it, it's gonna parse it, and then if I wanna read the data, I need to access also table map event that was specified previously. Let's see. Okay. So here it just reads a bunch of stuff, but if I want to have a rows event, right? So rows event data, it has a bunch of data like write event. And here, yeah. So if I want to receive rows, because the rows are like this, so I need to access a table map event, and table map event is sent always before other binary log events in a stream. So we will need a stream to be passed as an argument, but I think I don't need mutable reference to it, right? I need only read access. Or I can already actually pass a rows event, right? So I can just specify, okay, event and table map. So here is a table map event. Okay, that should work. Okay, event table map. And what else? And mutable reference to observer. So implementation of the replication observer. However, I think I can extract the event data, right? So okay, I can do it later. So table map event. Good. Here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also match event itself with event type. So it should be header, event type, and event type. Hey, why it doesn't show me? Okay, because okay, I need to specify. Okay, event type of what event type? Event type. Let's say write rows event, update rows event, and so on. So we're just gonna specify all of the events that are interesting for us. Okay, update rows event, and also event type delete rows event, and event type of update partial, right? Partial update rows event. And then we're gonna specify process event. Okay, it looks a little bit too much, right? So it's a little bit large thing, so let's just not specify this one. Let's just try if we can actually get a reference to binlog event itself. Let's see. So binlog stream, but only a read reference to a binlog stream itself. So then we can do our stuff. And here we're gonna do self binlog event. Event itself, and then binlog stream, and then yeah, we need to specify a reference, and then we need to specify and mute observer. Oh, okay, so we just can pass it, right? Yeah, because otherwise we are mutating of a mutable reference, so it's not gonna work. Okay, let's see. Can we do something there? Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot this one and self. So what's it complaining about now? It complains that mismatch types. Okay, expected event found. What kind of event I specified? It seems fine. Okay. Let's see why it complains. Oh, it's wrong event. Nice. Very nice. After completion makes me having some fun. Okay, so it's probably in events. Okay, here it is. So let's hope that's gonna work. Okay, now it works. Nothing bad happens. Okay, now we can do some operations, right? So we can execute a query. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna create another helper function here. Execute queries. And what it's gonna do is basically gonna create a new connection, and it's gonna execute some database queries over that connection, and it's gonna take as a parameter a vector of yeah, I think static str is okay, because we are basically in test case, so we already pass static str slices. So queries So return. We're not returning anything. Actually, why do I have return here? It's completely redundant because Rust already returns the last statement, so probably it's when I extracted the code or something. Okay, so now we're gonna have connection. And then queries for each into iter for each, and then we're gonna specify query itself, right? And then we're gonna do, oh, I cannot do it like that. Okay, because it's a synchronous result from query, so basically I need to do for query in queries, right? Yeah, for that. Oh, okay, just query in queries, and then inside of it I'm just gonna do connection query drop, probably, because I don't care about the result. Query itself, and then we're gonna await with a result itself. Okay, does it return back a result? Okay, so it should be a result query, because that boxed feature seems like quite interesting thing. Value per, what it complains about? Does it not like that I'm missing a return statement? Oh, cannot borrow. Okay, this is clear. So we just need to make connection mutable. And now it compiles, and now we can actually execute a bunch of queries here. So we created a binary log stream, right? But yeah, I think I need to do something here. I need probably to extract this part as well into another function and pass it as a parameter. So let's introduce, yeah, so let's extract it, because we specify this bin log dump non-block, it basically will close a binary stream before our queries are executed. But we can actually try it, right? So we can try to create this one. Yeah, let's do extraction of a variable bin log stream. Okay, and here we're just gonna execute queries. When we receive this binary log stream, we're just gonna execute some queries, and the queries that we're gonna execute are just a vector of Rust strings, right? So we're just gonna create database. What database we wanted to create? TestDB, right? do create table. Oh yeah, we need to use database, right? Use test db, and then we actually gonna drop database. So we basically create tables for our test. So it's gonna be a primary key, let's say entity ID. Oh, I've already forgot how to do it. I think I specify entity ID, right? Then I specify int, then unsigned, not null, and then some value int, let's say integer, not null. Okay, this is good. And in the end, I just specify primary key over entity ID. Let's see if those queries execute. Okay, the query seems execute. And show databases. Probably I will remove, just to make sure. So we're just gonna comment this one out. We're just gonna run it. So test DB is there. Okay. Drop database test DB. Okay, and now we're just gonna run it. And seems like, yeah, it's working, but yeah, again, I run it without that piece of code. Okay. Yeah. I forgot this pound sign. So that works. Now we're gonna go back into the binary stream itself. Oh yeah, I didn't do any tests, but it was a good exploration and looks like we have something running. So let's just print ln our events itself. So let's print it out. And let's see what's going on there. So, okay. The event itself is, and yeah, let's see. Checksum. So I actually didn't receive those events. So this is what I expected would probably will happen. So let's see if I can do something about it. But probably we'll find out next stream. So for today, thanks everyone who tuned in for this stream, and talk to you next Friday. At the similar time, we're gonna have a live stream, continuing working on this one. In the meantime, I'm gonna do some research about how to close the stuff. Maybe we'll change it a little bit, but I'm happy that we did some progress. We created some structures that accept a binary log stream, that processing errors, that close it, and so on. So thanks everyone. Talk to you next time. Have fun.